Now, I know this is a difficult concept for a lot of people to wrap their heads around, but if you've been drinking since your high school years, okay, and you're approaching middle age, statistically, I'm going to go over that in a minute, you're really not even supposed to be here any longer because most men live between the ages of 47 and 54, women a little bit longer, between 52 and 58. Now, statistically, and of course, there's anomalies. People will die earlier. A lot of it has to do with binge drinking and maybe they get alcohol poisoning. And certainly there's anomalies where people live into their 70s, 80s, and beyond. It's not the average statistically, and it's not a life I would particularly care for. It's definitely going to break down your body and your mind if you're drinking into your 7th and 8th and ninth decades. But the point is you're going to die a death that I really wouldn't wish upon anyone. And the reason being because there's a high probability you're not going to have any really friends left. The only people in your life are going to be fellow alcoholics. Your family's going to be filled with animosity. There's a very high probability of that. And unfortunately, it's a very painful death. Your organs do break down. And let's talk about this a little bit further. Now, our bodies and minds are made up of organic material, okay? So if you put poison in it, something caustic like alcohol in it in a consistent basis, I'm talking about people who have alcohol use disorder, or they're alcoholics, and they have been for maybe 2 or 3 or 4 decades. This is the people I'm talking to. Okay, your body will break down. It will affect your liver, obviously. It'll affect your pancreas, your heart, your kidneys, your esophagus, your skin, and the worst part is it'll affect your brain. There's a thing called Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, where it's better known as wet brain, but it's a form of dementia. Not a way to go. And if you do have liver failure, if you do have cirrhosis or fatty liver, well, your life expectancy is incredibly shortened unless you get a liver transplant, and you have to go without alcohol for a minimum of 2 years. You have to actually be a sober human being to get a liver transplant. And even then, you got to get on a list, and you're playing Russian roulette. These are real case scenarios that people have to go through. So that little, that glass of wine or those couple of beers, when you're in your 20s, you have to watch that and be cognizant of where that's headed. And again, our bodies are simply not designed for the onslaught of alcohol to be injected into our bodies on a regular basis. But including that, if you're drinking alcohol, you're not taking care of your diet. I'm sure you're not sitting there having a beer with a salad, okay? Your nutrition will lack, the vitamin intake will lack, and it will also affect your brain and your body. On top of that, it will affect your productivity. Obviously, if you're drinking every day, you're not going to be the most productive person in the world. It's going to affect your relationships, which is unfortunately the most difficult thing to overcome. Once you've destroyed, spouses and children and parents and friends, it's very difficult to come back from that. Now, it's possible, but why not just stop it to begin with? Why ever let it get to this point, which is the whole point of this video? Why not recognize that you have a problem and never get to that point? Because it is a horror story. It's a horror story on epic proportions, and it's not something I would wish upon anyone. So again, if you do go down this road and you continue to drink, statistically, you're going to lose somewhere in the neighborhood of a third of your life. Between 24 and 32 years is the life that's lost because you're a lifetime alcoholic. Nothing is worth that. Now again, if you're ready to work with me one-on-one, I have a very customized approach to it. I like to help the family and the alcoholic because it is a family issue. And again, please click on the link above, schedule a breakthrough call in the calendar link, the link tree. It usually takes about an hour to go over it. I want to hear your story. I'll go over the program and make sure it's a good fit. I like people and families who are motivated. And again, please like, share, and comment. We also have the Facebook group called An Alcoholic in the Family. It's the new group because the other one is filled up. And again, I go live every Monday through Friday, somewhere around 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. If you live somewhere else in the world, you're going to have to figure that one out. And again, thanks so much for listening.